I know everybody a go lie. I know everybody a go lie. Success don't come overnight. No matter no a substance over hype. Do it for the love, me not do it for the life.
What's good? Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real. I'm live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Keeping It Real is your go-to show for personal and professional development, diving deep into fitness, public speaking, networking, and sometimes real estate. I appreciate you joining me today, whether you're live or on the replay. If you are watching live, please say hello. This is a live show, let's connect. This isn't just a show. It's the start of a growing community, in fact. Together, we can build a space where like-minded individuals can connect, learn, and grow personally and professionally. What's next in your personal or professional journey? Comment below and let's kick this journey off together. Hello, I'm Jason Harris, and I'm unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional south of Boston, but maybe not this far south. Also known as Coach FitPro J, your diet-free fat loss specialist. I'm the coach who talks the talk and walks the walk. I've been there, done that, and now I empower real estate professionals and entrepreneurs to take control of their nutrition and fitness without feeling overwhelmed by keeping it simple, keeping it moving, and keeping it real. Welcome to the weekly live broadcast, Keeping It Real. All right. How's everybody doing this evening? I have a random rant, or maybe it's more of a statement, and I'd like your input on this. So have you guys ever been to a store, grocery store perhaps, and you're going through the register and you go ahead and give them cash, right? Who uses cash these days, right? Give them cash, and then they can't count out the change because of calculators, right? Calculator equals people not being able to count change at the register is what I'm trying to say. So it got me thinking, what about AI? What about AI? Does AI equal people not being able to critically think for themselves? I mean, I see it already. Ask someone a question, a difficult question. They say, I don't know. Let me check ChatGPT. They look it up on AI instead of using their brain. So I'm wondering in the future, what do you guys think? Do you think that AI is going to equal people not be able to critically think for themselves? Like the calculator helps people not be able to count change. What's your 2 cents? Comment in the comments and let me know, even if you're watching the replay. All right, on to the show. Today, we're starting with the core 4 of networking segment. After that, from Stagefright to Spotlight, the public speaking segment of the show, and then we'll get into fitness success, the 4 pillars of achievement. And we'll finish up with the real estate roundup segment. Let's get started. All right, the core 4 of networking. The core 4 of networking. Networking is an essential skill in both business and personal development. In the core 4 of networking segment, I break down key practices for building strong, lasting relationships. Do you know about the core 4 of networking? Can you tell me what they are? They're right here on the screen. I'll be breaking down the core 4 1 week at a time. Week 1, show up. Why simply being present can open doors to success. Week 2, be yourself. Authenticity is the key to forming genuine connections. And then week 3, pay attention. The importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. And then week 4, follow up. How to maintain and grow relationships beyond the first meeting. That is the core 4 of networking. What's the most significant networking hurdle that you have faced? And how'd you tackle it? Or are you still working on it? Please share your biggest networking challenge and how you've addressed them, or if you're still working on them, in the comments below. Help me help you. In addition to exploring the core 4 of networking, this segment will also showcase members of the networking organizations I'm affiliated with, as well as other members and as well as other businesses and professionals in my network. Say that 5 times fast. I'll also provide insights on local networking events that I attend. This Monday is week 2, so today's topic is be yourself. Authenticity is the key to forming genuine connections. Today's topic like I said, is be yourself. I conducted a class at the professional networking event hosted by Old Colony Business Alliance. The event took place last Tuesday at New York Life, that's 2 Lakeshore Center on the 2nd floor in Bridgewater, Mass. I gave a presentation on the core 4 of networking. Now, I haven't spoken in front of a group in person for a while, so I figured I'd share with you today what I did. Hold on and hold that thought while I cue up the video. Here it is.
For you that don't know me, my name is Jason Harris, and John's here. Welcome. John's here. And I brought cookies, of course. Oh, look at that. So, anybody want cookies? Not after watching your. Okay, of course. I like that. All right, so like I said, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jason Harris, and I'm unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional south of Boston, aka Coach Fit Pro J, your diet-free fat loss specialist. So I do commercial real estate transactions, but I also empower real estate professionals and entrepreneurs to take control of their nutrition and fitness. Pretty cool, huh? Show of hands, who here doesn't know me? A couple people, all right. Not too bad. Raise them up high. Who doesn't know me? All right. Perfect. I have another question. Show of hands again. Who here is absolutely terrified of public speaking? No one's terrified? Oh, Karen? Really?
Yeah, probably.
All right. You shy? Okay, come right up. Come on. Join me up here.
Serious?
Yeah, I'm playing. Seriously though, you have a feeling of fear just now when I had you guys like try to come up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Well, I can speak in front of children because I do that all day.
So if you want to get rid of that fear that you were just feeling, you guys ever heard of Toastmasters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Have you heard of Toastmasters before? All right, well, Toastmasters International is a nonprofit organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. A couple of us in here, Jordan as well as Casey in the back, belong to Spirited Speakers out of Middleborough, and we meet virtually. So if you guys ever want to, do something like that and experience a meeting, let me know. All right? All right, cool. So we cover what? Real estate, commercial real estate. Lou does residential real estate. So anything residential, you pass it on to Lou, right? So I do commercial real estate, like I said, and we covered fitness and public speaking. So that leaves one thing. You guys are probably wondering, especially the ones that don't know me, what qualifies me to be up here talking about networking tonight, right? Yeah? Can anybody vouch for me to talk about networking up here tonight? Besides the one that told me to come up here and do it. All right. So why is that? Why? Why do you vouch for me to be up here to talk about networking? Because I barely qualify myself.
We need the knowledge.
Because I see you at network.
Okay.
Because I know you put in the time to learn a lot about it, and you also talk about it on your show. And Albert and I have been on the show with you, and we've seen your expertise.
Awesome. That's right. So for those of you that don't know me, and even if you know me but you don't know I do a show, I do a live broadcast that broadcasts on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube every first 4 Mondays of the month. So if there's a month that has 5 Mondays in it, I don't do anything on the 5th Monday. The first 4 Mondays of the month. And it's at 7:30 p.m. and I talk about personal and professional development through real estate, fitness, public speaking, and networking. And everything that I talk about on the show, it's really my experience in all those different areas. I'm not an expert by any means in any of those areas. I'm just bringing what I know, my knowledge, to people that may know less than me. Simple as that. So I'm no expert, but I'm going to share with you tonight what I know about networking. You guys cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes? All right. Who's here to learn about networking tonight? No, I want to hear it. I want the whole floor to hear it.
All of us.
Who's here to work on networking tonight? That worked.
I can get way louder now.
So I've come up with something called the core 4 of networking. All right. And it's kind of the way I think. I try to see patterns in things and, you know, put them together so that they make sense, you know? So, maybe you don't know, but I'm gonna explain it to you. So the core 4 of networking, in my experience with networking, I figured there's 4 things you gotta do. Show up, all right, obviously. Be yourself, that's a big one, we'll talk about that. Pay attention, seems pretty common, right? Common sense, but it really isn't, I guess, for people. And then the last thing is follow up, which is probably the most important. We'll talk about that too. So the core 4 of networking. You guys cool if I touch on each one of those? Mm-hmm. Yeah? All right. Well, that's why I am here. So show up. Why simply being present can open doors to success. So as far as showing up is concerned, when I talk about showing up, who here preps before they go to a networking event? Prep? Okay, you prep. You prep. What do you guys do to prep?
How much do you want to know?
The short version, because I gotta talk.
So if I'm going to something like Cranberry Chamber of Commerce, I will try to think of people who are missing from my network group. I will look them up in the registry to see who's available in that particular instance, and then I will try to find and go after them when I see when I go to the meeting.
Why aren't you up here talking?
I like that.
CJ, what do you do?
Usually try to come prepared, like similar things to that, like who could be valuable to my network or who can I be of value to, either or. And then also the other thing I always prepare is like, where can I provide value to businesses like right now? So like today, like the telecom thing, that's the big thing I'm seeing right now with the nonprofits and the government building or government municipalities. And so I always try to come prepared with like, where's the spot I can add extra value on top of everything else I do? Like a highlight so people remember.
Awesome. So you guys are trying to get something out of networking. All right. What about you, Al?
Yeah, one of the things is you want to set yourself some goals. You know, as you know, when you go networking, you want to say, today I want to see how many contacts do I want to be able to connect with there. And now you're not just going there talking to one person the whole night. You say, I want to at least get a number of contacts that you say, okay, this time I've got 5. Next networking, I want to try to go up. Go for get 10. You know.
All right, nice. So anybody else before I continue? All right, so what about showing up as far as like physically? Have you guys ever seen anybody show up to a networking event all disheveled, like physically looking? Yeah? Yeah, I had too. So you gotta kind of prepare that way too, right? Hey, listen, I'm not pointing anybody out, they're not here. I'm not talking about that. I said that. The other thing you want to do is you want to prepare mentally, right? Like these guys do. They do a little bit of research so they can help people out and help themselves out at the same time. So show up, a little bit of prep. That was the first thing. All right, second thing. Opportunities only come to those in the room. If you're absent, you're missing opportunities.
Yeah.
Has anyone here felt FOMO? Or do you guys know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out. Have you guys ever felt that way when missing a networking event? Yeah? All right. What do you do when you have conflicting things or conflicting work things and networking things? What do? Do you make sure you say yes to every event, or how do you manage that? Or do you even manage it? You guys are laughing back there.
I just triple book myself.
Triple?
Figure it out right there.
All right.
Somehow just figure out how to make it, whether if I can go virtually on something or make 30 minutes of this one and 30 of another, and try to make my presence wherever I can.
So you need a secretary. All right.
Basically.
That's what I said.
Go ahead, Al.
So I'll tell you, for me, as you know, I mean, I do tons of networking. I go everywhere. I say in the beginning, when you're starting out, first thing to do is at least whatever networking you see is to give it a shot. Try to go to every one of them if you can, okay? The reason for that is then you can pick and choose which one that will work for you. If you don't go to one, you're not gonna be able to see, if that one, like you said, FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. If you don't go to that one, you're never gonna know. But once you attended that one, you say, this is not for me. I don't know. It's whole, different things.
Different feel,
Right.
Yeah, different vibe. I hear you. All right. So the third point I wanted to make on showing up was consistency builds visibility and trust. So you gotta keep showing up. Does that make sense? Who feels this way? I'm gonna pick us. Jared, why? Why? Why do you feel that way?
Because I think that, one element of community is, a sense of belonging. So if you're inconsistent, it will be difficult for people to know you and be able to build trust with you.
Like, who's this guy? He shows up every now and again. It's not like one of the regulars, and you get to know the people. That's right, perfect. So showing up is just a fourth of what we're going to talk about tonight. So on to the next. What's the next one?
Be yourself.
Pop quiz. Be yourself, right? Be yourself. Authenticity is the key to forming genuine connections. Make sense? Let me not walk away from my bullet point. I prepared and I don't want to. Do you know why I have notes? Does anybody know why I have notes?
Because you're
Besides losing my
terrified.
space.
Because you're terrified, just like everyone else.
I know, right?
Stay on track.
Yeah.
I got so much information, I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
That's why.
Good stuff.
That's what I tell you anyway. So, be yourself. People can't connect. Well, it can't work, but people can't connect with personas, they connect with people. Right? Makes sense? So, when you're real, others feel safe being real too. They kind of open up and they feel more comfortable with you. And that helps build trust. Does that make sense? Let's see. Who has felt when they've spoken with somebody at a networking event and it kind of feels like you're talking to a wall? Have you ever felt that way? Yeah, like this person is listening to me. And you kind of slip some other words in there that they might not be paying attention to make sure they're not paying attention. It's fun, try it. No, but you can tell, people can tell when people are being fake. It's not a good feeling. It's just gonna put their own wall up. So how are you supposed to connect if you're being fake? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
Topper.
The other thing is, your story is your superpower. You have life experiences that other people have not had. And it can be valuable to them, to share it with them. You might inspire them, you never know. So you want to be authentic and be a little bit vulnerable yourself. The experiences and perspective you bring are what makes you stand out. Don't try to be like somebody else, be like you. There's only one of you. You're unique. Every one of us is unique. Let your uniqueness shine through. That's your superpower. And then the third thing, as far as be yourself. Authenticity attracts the right opportunities and people. So why wouldn't you want to let your real self shine through? Because it will attract other people like you, like-minded people. And I don't know about you guys, but that's who I want to do business with and hang out with and everything else with. I stay away from the other people. Does that make sense to everybody? Do you guys operate in that way? Yeah, give me an example. I don't want to be the one talking. Give me an example. Somebody.
So like one of my target markets is people who are like myself. I have twin 6-year-olds, boy-girl twins are actually showing up tonight because my wife's got a PTO meeting, so they're going to come and join and participate and learn how to public speak. But I like just being able to talk to people in that same realm and having those kind of connections. Jared and I connect, we're both runners. We have that kind of common thing that we can talk about and share, and it just becomes an easier. Your guard is down, not that you need to have guards up, but your guard is down and you're able to have real meaningful conversations that kind of transverse anything that would be like kind of superficially, we're not really trying to talk about those things, I don't really care about them. It's more, let's get into the knowledge of the person, and it's, I like trust, and Speed of Trust is a great book if you haven't read that before, but like, just trust people inherently. You're going to be able to do business with them a lot quicker than someone who you may feel like you have to be kind of guarded against because you're not on the same page and you're trying to find what their motive is versus your motive. So like,
Kind of hold back a little.
Yeah, I think it just builds trust when you can find people who have the same kind of connections and underlying behaviors and characteristics and things like that.
Awesome. That's an awesome example as far as you guys getting into running and talking about that together. And you guys have probably had the same examples talking to like-minded people in different areas. I know I have with a few of you in this room. If the right people only find the real you, are you giving them the chance? So be yourself so that you can attract the correct people. What's the third of the core four of networking?
Listen.
Pay attention.
Oh, follow up. Follow up, yeah.
Listening.
Pay attention.
Pay attention. Pay attention. I heard it a couple times. I hope you guys are paying attention. So pay attention, the importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. All right, so listening builds trust faster than talking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Listening builds trust faster than talking. All right, sounded funny to me. When you actively listen, you make others feel important, and that's powerful. Because I believe they say people remember how you make them feel, not what you say.
Yep.
So make people feel the way you want them. Make them feel positive so they see you in a better light. It doesn't care what you say. It doesn't matter what you say. It matters how you make them feel. That's the point. All right, so pay attention. I got a question for you guys. When was the last time you truly felt heard? And how did it make you feel? In other words, I asked the question earlier about, have you ever talked to somebody and it's like talking to a brick wall, right? This is the opposite. When was the last time you guys talked to somebody and you actually felt good or connection, like they were listening, truly listening? Have you guys experienced that yet? You have. Could you tell me about the example?
I could, actually. You guys might know this guy. His name's Jason Harris. And the very first Cranberry Chamber of Commerce event I went to was a walkthrough at a farm, at Soul Farm. And he and I had a long discussion. Like, we had a very long discussion. We walked like 2 miles.
Go for the goats.
It was good. Yes. Great time. But the thing is I knew he was actually listening because it was a while later where I had told him something that I generally just don't tell people in general. But then later on, when you and I did our presentation together, he remembered. Not only did he remember, but he reminded me of my goal, which was great. And so I felt like not only had Jason listened to me, but he appreciated the goal I was setting for myself and was encouraging me to achieve it. So that was probably the best example I've had in my life of active listening.
Awesome. I guess I am qualified to talk a little bit. Sure.
We had a meeting with Jordan via Zoom, and it was a great meeting. It wasn't the right fit for the moment, but we felt very heard, and yeah, it was a very
got some great feedback.
Great feedback. We learned.
Program.
So, yeah, we got into score, and just it was great. So.
It's awesome when someone actually gives it credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. So pay attention. You can make someone feel very, very good and heard by paying attention.
It's hard.
You can't make meaningful. This kind of goes with preparing or showing up, and mentally. So you can't make meaningful connections if your mind is somewhere else. Remember we talked about, being mentally there. You're not just your feet and yourself, but mentally you need to be there too. Have you ever been to a networking event and bumped into somebody and talked to them and they were like scattered, they were like looking out the window and like just all over the place? Have you? Yeah, they're not mentally there. How do you expect that person to connect with anybody? They're somewhere else. You don't want to do that. All right, being fully engaged shows respect and care. Eye contact, body language, and focused attention set you apart in a distracted world. All right, so be honest. When someone's talking to you, are you listening or are you thinking about what to say next or about lunch or something? What do you guys do?
Depends on the moment.
I like
What do you
that.
have going on?
Keeping it real, I could have you on the show. Anybody else? Have you felt that? Yeah? Can I have an example? You know I'm going to ask for an example.
I mean, when I tell my kids, oh, you told me I could do that. I'm like, I did? Why did I tell you that? I totally wasn't listening.
Awesome. I think they call that selective hearing.
Possibly. Or you're doing like a million other things and you're being,
Right.
I mean, you're not listening all the time.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
All right. I love that example. Noticing details today could spark a referral or an opportunity tomorrow. Just because you paid attention to something. When you do really listen, you pick up things. You can pick up a problem someone's having, a pain that someone has, or an opportunity that could be had by either you or someone else that's in your network, because that's why we network, right? To try to hook each other up. Yeah? All right. So what's one small detail you've noticed recently in a conversation that could be a big opportunity for somebody else? Have you guys ever had that before? Where you're listening and something the person says reminds you of what someone else is looking for? You have?
Yeah, so some of you here know this. I have this like ongoing mental list in my head of people who I feel like I owe a referral to. And so whenever I'm having a conversation, no matter who the person is in front of me, that's constantly going on in my head that, is this a good person for me for a referral? Or is this somebody that I can refer to somebody else that I feel like, you know, they've helped me out, so I should return the favor. So that's something that constantly goes on in my mind.
Awesome, awesome. And we all should. We all should. Because the more you help others out, the more you'll get helped out. And always try to help others without expecting anything in return. Just put it out into the universe.
Yeah. If you get a referral from me, I'm not expecting one back, but for some reason, if you give one to me, I have to get you one back. It's just the way my brain works.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
I do.
Jason, I just want to echo on that.
Yeah, please.
You know, one of the things is when you go networking, you speak with someone, and when you listen to them, a lot of times it's not about, I never think about my business. I always think about who can I refer people to you, or how can I have refer people to you. It's always listening. Then it's almost like that way you would be able to build a trust from there. Someone is more willing to follow up with you, which we'll talk later on. But then it's almost like if I say, you know what, I think I have someone that I may be able to utilize your services. If I call you, you're gonna pick up my phone because oh yeah, there's an opportunity there. But if I was just not listening or not talking about these things, or just I was talking about myself, you would say, I don't want to call.
No, I mean, when you do get a referral from someone, that's a good feeling and you want to reciprocate. So the fourth, should I even ask? The fourth of the core four of networking.
Following.
I'm sorry, what?
Follow.
Oh, come on. Really? I'm leaving. What's the fourth of the core four of networking? One more time. What is the fourth of the core four of networking? Yes. Yes. All right.
Nailed it.
How to maintain.
I thought I was wrong.
How to maintain and grow relationships beyond the first meeting. Follow up. The fortune is in the FU, and that was coined by Al Moy. Al Moy. Following up. It shows you're serious, thoughtful, and you kind of give a crap again, right? You paid attention. You're following up now. And when you do follow up, well, we'll get there. How many people here collect business cards at these networking events and then do nothing with them? I have. I've been. Well, who has been guilty of it, right? I've been guilty of it. Yeah.
I think I still have them all. I think I just won't throw them out. Yeah.
A big stack, right? Big shoebox.
Sure.
Oh man, I challenge everybody. The next networking event, not this one. The next networking event that you do go to, and you collect the cards. Go ahead and collect the cards, but when you get home, just type them in. Or do you guys have CRMs, client relationship management software? Google Contacts, throw them in there, at least something. At least start making that a habit. Try that. Remember, I said it here, then just try it. I'm trying to inspire you to do it. Yeah. Almost everybody has Google. You use Google Contacts. You just put them in there. Name, email, phone number. That's it. And then, well, we'll get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself. A quick message, this is why, a quick message you can send them on LinkedIn or email and just mention something about, your conversation. And guess what, guys, if you paid attention, you'd have something to write in the email, right, about your conversation. So that's why you gotta pay attention as well, so you can follow up correctly and meaningfully, if you will. All right, so again, don't overthink it. Just a quick message, what's up, or mention something briefly about your conversation that you had in the networking event. That's all. It's powerful because a lot of people don't do it, as you can see, by the people that raise their hands. The third thing, or the second thing. Nope, that was the second thing. The third thing. Relationships, they grow between meetings, not just during them. How many here are married or have dated before or were married or whatever? Wow, everyone's like, what's up with that? Anyway, that's something different. If you didn't follow up when you were first dated your wife or what have you, what would happen, right? You gotta stay top of mind. You gotta keep sending the messages. So not just the first one, but you gotta continue to do it over time. Set up intervals, even if, as a notification to pop up. If you're using, again, Google Contacts for lack of using a CRM, you could set that up for notifications to notify you to, hey, send a message to so-and-so. That's the easiest way to do it. But you want to be top of mind. You don't just want that initial contact. You want to continue to contact. All right. What else do I have? Almost to the end, guys. We're just about done. We're just about done. No, wait, not done, it's just about done. Hold on. How many people, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
It's a teaser.
That's on purpose. I'm going to recap. So, show up is the first one. Be yourself. Be authentic, pay attention, and then follow up. That's it. That's the core for networking. It's not just networking. That's how you build a reputation. That's how you build relationships. That's how you get referrals. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good question.
Something came to mind early in your speeching, and I'd like just to say it. You referred, in effect, to follow-up, etc. Think about this phrase, everybody. If you do something about it, if you try, you probably will succeed. If you don't do a damn thing, you're guaranteed to fail.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's right. That's so true. Thank you for that.
Can you explain that CRM a little bit more? What is
Yeah, client relationship management software. I mean, we could talk offline about that, and I could school you all about that. And point you in the right direction.
I mean, we have our website with a database, but I don't know.
If you swing by my office, I can actually show you mine and how it functions. I can black out all the client's information, but I can show you how mine works.
So what does it do though? You can then blast out emails right from it?
Well,
or
you use a CRM, usually they have a email marketing component that is extra. Sometimes it's a CRM by itself, and sometimes it's emails by itself, sometimes it's in one package. It just depends on what you go with. But the whole point of the CRM is to manage your contacts. Because once you get so many, you want to be able to keep touching
people.
we
probably have 8,000 or something in our database.
And that's an awesome email list too. I mean, there's power in email, there's money in email lists.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
But the point is, I think you can do a lot of things. Instead of having a whole bunch of different things you use, it kind of blankets and accomplishes 10 things at once.
I will teach you too.
Oh, thank you. This is
Sounds good. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. If anybody would like if they need any help with anything that I talked about today or anything else, let me know. Make sure I get your contact information if I don't have it already before I leave, or before you leave, or before you guys.
Do you have
Thank you.
I should probably take mute off. All right, so what did you think? How'd I do? Well, you're about to find out by a professional in this next segment here. Anyhow, please share your feedback in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. I hope to see you at the next one, and I'm going to have somebody on in a few weeks to advertise the next class that's going to happen, but we won't talk about that now. Don't worry, I'll remind you about the when and where before the end of the month, because it's the beginning of next month is when it happens. Next Monday is week 3, so the topic will be pay attention, the importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. I expect to have a guest then as well. Until then, show up, be yourself, pay attention, and most of all, follow up. If you got a story to tell or to share and you want to be on the show as a guest, reach out. I'd love to have you on. Seriously, let's do this. And if you catch me at a networking event, don't hesitate to pull me aside and let's make some on-camera magic happen. All right. Next up is From Stagefright to Spotlight, our comprehensive public speaking segment designed to help you master this crucial skill. Whether you're speaking to a large audience or just in front of a small group, like I just did in the last segment. This segment of the show will give you the tools that you need to shed the stage fright and step confidently into the spotlight. This segment of the show will also have guest appearances from some of my fellow Toastmasters. And if you don't know what Toastmasters is, I'm going to tell you right now. Toastmasters International is a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. I belong to the Spirited Speakers Club out of Middleborough, Massachusetts. We currently meet virtually, about to change here shortly though. We meet virtually right now on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of every month. Stay tuned because at the end of this segment, I'll show you how you can visit my next virtual Toastmaster meeting coming up here soon. On today's From Stage Fright to Spotlight, I have a guest. Today's guest is a fellow Toastmaster, and he's going to explain what a Toastmasters evaluation is. And then he's going to actually evaluate the presentation that I just gave. And then, well, let's just bring out Sean DaSilva. Let me bring him out from backstage here. All right, and let me fix this here. Oh, where is it? I got all these different, oh my God, where'd you go, Sean? I think I got rid of that one. I need to bring that one back. You know what? I'm going to do it live. Give me a second.
I am still here.
Yeah, I'm going to do this live. Let me add this here. All right, let's see what this does. Oh, I kind of swapped this around like that.
Hey, it works.
Yeah, that works. All right. So, Sean, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be back.
So, Sean is actually in my Toastmaster group, Spirited Speakers out of Middleborough. But, Sean, you're also a member of more than one group. You want to, just in case there's some Toastmasters watching or watching the replay, why don't you let them know where you're at?
Yeah, I'm a member of also the Fall River Innovators in Fall River, Massachusetts. We meet at the One South Coast Chamber. We're a hybrid club, so whether you want to meet in person or you like the online experience, or maybe you want to mix it up, the Fall River Club has both. And then I'm also a member of the Saturday Brunch Bunch. We meet on Saturday mornings. The brunch from 9 to 11. We are an online club, so no travel involved there, but a great group. Both clubs have very experienced members, also like inspirited speakers, so you can learn a lot from any of the clubs. Every club has something different to offer, and that's why I'm being a part of the Toastmasters community. I love being part of multiple clubs because I have friends in all the clubs.
Awesome, Sean. Thank you for that. So, Sean, why don't you, for the non-Toastmasters, and maybe some Toastmasters alike, because you are an excellent evaluator, why don't you go ahead and explain to the audience, well, what is a Toastmaster evaluation exactly?
Yeah, so Toastmasters has, and in different clubs, they're they call them different names. The first club that I ever belonged to, we used to just summarize it as the tell them something positive, tell them how they can improve, and then wrap it up with more positive. I've evolved my evaluations. I actually have a formula where I tell the speakers their strengths. So I will usually an evaluation in Toastmasters is like 2 to 3 minutes. So I'll tell them 2 strengths, one area that they can improve on, kind of summarize it, and then leave them with a sincere conclusion, something that I really liked in the speech. So that's my formula, but it's evolved throughout the years. I've been in Toastmasters for 17 years, probably evaluated over 100 speeches. So it takes a lot of practice. It definitely, to evaluate a speaker, you have to listen, paying attention, not just to what they're saying, but they looking at them and watching their movements, their eye contact. You're picking up on all those things. You're also looking for what feedback you can give them to grow as a speaker. So that's sort of just an idea of what we do when we evaluate our fellow Toastmasters.
No, that was an awesome definition of what a Toastmaster evaluation is. And of course, what it does is it really helps out. It's helped me out quite a bit. I've went to my Toastmaster group and did a practice run, if you will, and got evaluated. Then I was able to take the evaluation and correct or make better what I did and gave it again. And that's what the feedback is designed for, so that people can help you get better at speaking. Essentially,
Right.
You get to see what they see through their eyes, because of course when we speak, we can't really tell a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know, and,
I like to say that evaluations at the end, the goal should be the speaker should walk away, if they weren't feeling this way already, feeling more confident about how they delivered. So building people's confidence is number one. Helping them to see what they already do well, because a lot of times if you don't point out the things that people do well, they might not think that's something that they're doing, and they might try to change it. So telling what they do right, and then also giving them something to grow on. So what's the next step? What's the next step that I need to take? I can go home, start practicing on for my next presentation.
yeah, it's a powerful tool, very powerful tool, and to help you get better in speaking and to point out areas of improvement, and not only areas of improvement, as you'll see tonight too, but areas where you do well too. And I hope there's, like I said, Sean is going to evaluate what you just saw, my live presentation, if you will, in front of people that I haven't done in quite a while. So do you have a preface for this at all, Sean, or you just want to take it away?
I'm going to just jump into this and just say that, again, normally at a meeting, this would be 2 to 3 minutes. I might not stick to that time because there was so much. That was a long presentation, and there's so many good things so I've probably got about 3 strengths that I saw, and I would like to dive into each one of those. And then a couple of suggestions for your next time you present. So first, right off the bat, I want to say that, Jason, you had excellent stage presence. That was for an in-person, which, again, we've talked about you don't do very often, but that you had great stage presence. You looked comfortable up there. You were clear. Your movement was very fluid from the podium to the center stage, and making eye contact and really, owning your space. You had a very clear, understandable message that you wanted to deliver. I really liked that you were really yourself. You stayed to your brand, and talking about the real estate, the public speaking, the networking. You were very genuine. So that was like something that I found was a real strength. I really also I think your second strength was you're connecting with the audience. You're asking them questions. You're shouting out people's names like John's here, and if you have any residential real estate, connect with Lou. So you knew your audience. You were even rephrasing things like after people would answer your questions, you'd come back and you'd rephrase them. So that shows that you were really paying attention. I love that. Even when you weren't talking and you were just standing there, you could see you were paying attention. You were listening. Some speakers, when other people are talking, they're thinking about the next thing that is going to be on their presentation. You never zoned out. You were always in the moment with your audience, and then you would move on to your next thing once they were done. So that was great. And the third strength that I saw is you're very funny and you're entertaining. You had people laughing. You really, I mean, even at the end when you were talking about, we're done. We're almost done. But not quite yet. I know that was something that you were just kind of, it looked like maybe you were just kind of filling in because you didn't realize you were quite at the end there. But it was funny, and it still kept your audience engaged. You had excellent humor and entertainment throughout the entire presentation. So those were your big strengths. Those were the things that I thought made this presentation really fantastic. What could you work on for the next time? How could you improve this? So I know you have your core 4 of networking, and I know you love that. I kind of looked at it as just as a suggestion, maybe a way to kind of mix it up is you need something that is a little bit more memorable or a little bit easier to remember. You had your audience shouting out, but I really like the B statements, and I took your core 4 and I put it into 4 B statements. Be prepared, be yourself, be present, and be persistent. And each one ties into the same core 4 that you had, but they all kind of linked together. And I thought that as a suggestion could be something that you could do to just kind of make it more easily for your audience to remember.
I like that.
The other suggestion, if you have a presentation like this, and I just learned this at a conference I just attended this past weekend from our keynote speaker, and that is don't end with a Q&A. You can have a Q&A. You can ask your audience, do you have any questions? But you should be the one that has the last word. So you do your Q&A. After the Q&A, that's when you would do your summary. Leave them with your final, summary, what this whole presentation was about and what they should take out of it and what that call for action is, what they should do next. So you can do that in your final wrap-up statement, but always end with that statement. Don't end on the Q&A. But other than that, you did, again, an excellent job. I really, again, found this very entertaining, very educational. I learned some things about networking that I hadn't considered in the past. So I think that you did an excellent job, and love to see more presentations like this from you in the future.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. And that's an awesome evaluation. Like I said, Sean's an awesome evaluator, and there you go. There it is. I knew I shouldn't have winged the ending of that. I wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah, Jason messaged me and said I kind of winged the end there, and it was like, you can tell, but still, you stay to yourself. I think your audience probably, I wouldn't have noticed had you not told me, hey, Sean, I sort of bombed the end. And I was like, hey, you did it, but just, you could tell that it wasn't what you were prepared to do. But you still handled it well. I think your audience wouldn't have noticed it. And I think that's fine. Sometimes we don't have to be. Another thing I learned at the conference this weekend is that you don't have to be perfect. That sometimes in your most genuine moments and just being yourself, that's the best kind of speeches and really where you connect with your audience and they see the real you.
No, I agree. That's excellent advice. Now I know to wrap up and be the last word to wrap up and don't end in a Q&A. No, I appreciate that. I don't know how that happened. It kind of naturally went to a Q&A, probably because I didn't ask if anyone had any questions, and I kind of, winged it, if you will, at the end. So, no,
and that's fine.
Great advice.
It's a lesson learned. You can think about that for the next time you present a class like that. Either it's like, yeah, I want a Q&A, but I don't want it to be the very end. I want to plan, this is when I'm going to have the Q&A, and then move on to my final wrap-up statement.
Exactly. No, excellent advice. So, I mean, I feel better about it now. Yeah, no, excellent. I'm going to take your advice, especially what you said about the core four and the B statements. I'm going to check that out and see what I could work with on that. I do like that. I like the whole being more memorable like that. I agree with you. Let's see what happens. But the other thing I wanted to mention while I have you, Sean, is I wanted to invite everyone to our next Toastmaster meeting. So, you know, if you are thinking of taking the next step, meaning my and Sean's next virtual Toastmaster meeting is coming up. The next meeting will be on this Wednesday, May 14th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to experience a virtual meeting for yourself and see what it's all about, comment Spirited under this video and I'll share the link with you. That's all you have to do. Comment Spirited. I'll share the meeting link with you. And then when you log into the meeting on Wednesday, don't be scared. Sean doesn't bite. You know, feel free to sit back and no, well, unless she asks, right? No. But, you know, feel free to sit back and observe from the sidelines. You don't have to participate. You know, we'll make sure you feel welcome. And again, participation is optional, but no pressure. Just relax and enjoy the experience. That's all. I mean, I hope to see you there.
Yeah.
What about you, Sean? You hope to see them there too?
Absolutely. I would love to see them. And again, Toastmasters is such a wonderful organization. I think I've mentioned this before. We're great. We're an educational organization, so we're there to help people in self-improvement. But there's a real community involved. And I mean, because we learn from each other and we teach each other. So come for the education, stay for the community. And again, to the networking, there's also great networking opportunities as well.
Yes, there is. And I just wanted to say that even though I winged the end of that, I didn't die. Did you see? I was fine. I didn't like poof and turn into something. It was good. It was okay.
Public speaking won't kill you.
No.
So most people will say, I'd rather die. No, public speaking will not kill you. You can make it. You can do it. It just takes practice. It just takes, that confidence to know that you can do it. And I think that's part of what Toastmasters also helps people with.
Exactly. So on Wednesday, I expect you to show up at the meeting. Comment Spirited into this video, and I'm sending you the link, and I expect you to be there and check it out.
I'll be there.
All right, Sean, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on this evening and giving that wonderful evaluation and showing everyone how it's done.
Anytime, Jason. I told you, just all you have to do is ask, and you're happy to help with any segment you need.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you. And I will see you Wednesday.
Talk to you on Wednesday.
All right. All right. Let me get myself back. There we go. All right. Next up is fitness success, the 4 pillars of achievement. Each week, I alone or with a guest will break down a specific pillar to help you build a balanced, sustainable fitness routine. Week 1 is all about pillar 1, nutrition habits. Master your nutrition and fuel your body for success. Week 2, pillar 2. It's all about stress management. Practical strategies for managing life's inevitable stressors. Week 3, pillar 3. All about physical activity. Tips to stay active and energized no matter your fitness level. And then on week 4, we deal with pillar 4, recovery measures. Recovery is key. Learn the best ways to rest, recharge, and avoid burnout both in and out of the gym. This is the second Monday of the month, so our focus today will be on pillar 2, stress management. Practical strategies for managing life's inevitable stressors. Today, I'm going to help you out with a popular topic. On this video I'm about to share with you, a few guests and yours truly are going to discuss the struggles and problems that have people screwing up most of their progress made during the week. And of course, we'll also discuss solutions and strategies to win on the weekend as it relates to consistency in your nutrition and fitness. This is a recording from July of 2023, so some of the people look quite different. Hold that thought while I cue up the video. Here we go.
Your fitness and nutrition go to shit on the weekends. That's what we're talking about tonight. If it does, please during the show, go ahead and type your comments in and we will engage with you. Tonight, myself and a few guests are going to discuss the struggles and problems that have people screwing up most of their progress made during the week. And of course, we'll also discuss solutions and strategies to win on the weekend as it relates to consistency in your nutrition and fitness. All right, let me bring everybody out here. All right, how's everybody doing?
Hello, hello, hello.
All
Doing
right,
good.
excellent. So before we get into tonight's discussion, I would like to show you how weekend overeating can actually destroy your progress. And let's see, to do that, I want to bring this up, see if everybody can follow. Okay, everybody can see that on the screen, correct?
Yep. Yes.
All right, so imagine this, right? Imagine this. You're eating around 1,800 calories, right? You have an optimal amount of protein, healthy fats, and carbohydrates to help you reach your goal. Say it's fat loss, right? So
Yeah.
the calories you need to maintain your current weight is 2,300. So for 5 days of the week, see this Monday through Thursday, all right? What are you doing? You're eating 1,800 calories, all right? Then here comes Friday all of a sudden. There's Friday, and you want to eat out after a long week. So you've had your usual 1,800 calories, all right, Monday through Thursday, but then you add another 1,700 on top of that with that Friday meal, dinner, and drinks and whatnot, all right? So then Saturday comes, okay, and there's no structure at all, and you end up eating around another 3,500 calories, all right? And then all of a sudden, here comes Sunday, and you're back to your usual routine. You know, you have your meals prepped for the week, 1,800, whatever. So now, if we add up the weekly calories and then divide by 7, you know, the days in the week. So if we add 1,800 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have 3,500 times 2, and you divide that by 7, we're left with roughly about 2,300 calories. And that's the amount of calories required to maintain your current weight in this example. You know, so that Friday night dinner and the Saturday cheat day where you had no structure, it can influence the rest of the weekly total. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. So you see how not having a plan or overindulging, even though you're good during the week and you just kind of hit the F it button on the weekend, you can destroy your overall weight loss progress. Yeah, thank you, Rich. That's right. That's right. So does anyone have any questions or comments on this before I take this graphic down?
Real quick, I find that it's funny you put this up because I seem to come across this situation a lot with when I visit with family. I'll visit with family and they have like all these treats and everything there. So it's a little bit more difficult to stay on track. But what I learned to do when I go to visit family, I bring healthier options. And that seems to help with the, so to say, when people get the fudge rounds and all that good stuff, the Twinkies, the Oreo cookies. So
don't forget the zebra cookies, the zebra cakes, man. Don't forget those.
It's so rough. It gets rough out there, you know, especially with my family. My family loves the treats. So it's very difficult when I visit with family because they go to the supermarket, buy ice cream, you name it. They buy everything. Because there's so many of us, so they buy so much junk. But it's always good. I bring like a protein bar, a healthy protein bar, and a low carb snack, like even a fiber bar I'll bring with me. And if I am going to do ice cream, I'll do like a Rebel ice cream, which is, you know, lower calories and like, you know, 4 net carbs, I think it is.
Yeah, a healthier choice. You're not getting the full cream and full sugar. Sure.
Exactly.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. So the weekend, that's what we're here to talk about. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 tips or strategies that we can use. And what I'll do is I'll start going through them,
and I'll check comments too. So if we have people on the outside that have questions or comments that want to chime in, we'll do some engagement here. And I think we have one here. But I'm going to go through each one, and then we'll have some discussion, and we'll just go through them. Let's see what we come up with. So we have a Facebook user. All right. So let's see. Hell yeah, starting on Thirsty Thursday. Oh man. Obviously, they're talking about this chart here, right? Yeah, Thirsty Thursday. That's funny. I think I might know who that is, Facebook user. But anyway, so let's start with this first strategy or thing that you can do to help you win on the weekends, all right? So one of the first things that you can do, I like to open this up for discussion, is plan ahead. You know, you kind of talked about that, Rich, in your example. In this example, say, for instance, right, you're headed out on a Saturday, and you don't know when you'll have access to food again. Who knows where you're going? You know what I'm saying? You're going out for the day. You don't know when you're going to be back, whatever, where you're going to be. You know, do yourself a favor. Plan ahead. You know, plan ahead so that you have the nutrition that you need with you if you aren't going to be near anything. You know, and that could be in the form of even just bringing a couple of scoops of protein with you and some like dry oatmeal, you know what I mean? To mix in the shake, just so, and bring a healthy fat. Just bring something, maybe make some wraps ahead of time. They keep very easy in a cooler, and then you just, when it's time to eat, you just bust them out and start eating. So, you know, plan ahead. Does anybody else have any examples of planning ahead?
When I go fishing, I'll bring the clear whey protein. I'll just have it like pre-packed, pre-mixed sometimes. That way I can just grab it down that. Like that, plus I'll usually have like a chicken salad wrap or something. And that way I can get my carbs, my fats, and all my proteins in.
Awesome. And that right on the boat, just take it out and just handle it. Oh, you always catch something and grill it, man, if you really were so inclined, right?
That's too much work.
True. You're not out there trying to work. I feel you. Anybody else have any strategies as far as planning ahead on the weekend? Going once? Anybody at home? Remember, you could chime in too. Got a few people watching. All right, on to the next. We got plenty. All right, so the next strategy. Look for other ways to indulge. And this example, for example, you've been cooking and prepping whatever all during the week. Say, you know, Friday night comes. You know, take the night off from cooking and order a healthy takeout option. You know, I do this a lot sometimes with like Thai food, because Thai food I just order something that doesn't have a lot of sauce with it, and Thai food generally has a ton of veggies, and then I just get the white rice. That's all. So, and then I eat the appropriate amount. That's pretty much it. So that's an example of another way that I would look to indulge. And Rich, you came up with another way to indulge too with the ice cream. You just made a better choice.
Yeah.
You made a better choice. So anybody else? Yep.
I also put it in there. I don't know what made me do it, but we were having so many protein shakes. I said, I got to change it up a little bit. So, you know, I threw a shot of coffee in one, and then I thought about it and I said, you know what? I'm just going to take a scoop of the Rebel ice cream and throw it in there too and blend it up. So I think having those options where you just try different things is a big thing as well. Like trying new things, something different, completely out of the ordinary than what you normally do might surprise you. And like, I never thought to put a shot of, well, it was espresso. I can't pronounce it. My accent is horrible. Don't mind me. I'm from Boston.
You're good.
Don't mind my accent. It's horrible. It's thick and horrible. But yeah, so it's like I threw a shot of espresso in there and I was shocked at how good it was. It was incredible. So don't be afraid to try new things. If that's like my best suggestion as far as like anything like that you have to consistently do all the time, and find different foods as well, you know?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. As far as even when you're cooking or preparing different proteins, just there's so many different spices and different ways you can prepare it and make it taste different. And then depending on how you cook it, you could pair it with different carbohydrates to get different tastes and effects, like Italian versus Asian versus whatever, you know, that sort of thing. So, all right.
I make protein pancakes with protein powder.
Oh, I love
Oh, that's an awesome, awesome indulgence.
I love that. I use birch benders. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that, but it's like low carb. I think I might be right when I say it's 0 sugar as well. It might be 1 gram of sugar or something like that, but it's keto friendly and I believe paleo friendly. I think it's called paleo.
So I've used that one too and added protein powder to
Yep.
it, but I've actually made protein pancakes and a recipe with protein powder.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Could we have the recipe for that?
I'm sorry?
Can we have the recipe for that?
You can. It's very easy. It's like 4 ingredients, 5 ingredients. No. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's like no flour. No, it's good. Leanne, I don't know if you've had that recipe before.
I use an old Weight Watchers recipe. Like it's banana, like they're flourless banana pancakes, and I'll just throw protein powder in it. It's literally like 2 eggs, a banana mashed up, like a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of baking powder, and then sometimes I'll just throw like cinnamon and chocolate protein powder in it and mix it up and make a little pancake.
So Jay, what I'll do is I'll send you, I got a couple of recipes, and Leanne, if you want to send the recipe, and then you can like blast it out if you want, but
post in the group.
Yeah, and then it's good. It's real good, and it's like I've done it sometimes as an alternative instead of a shake, because sometimes I like the sensation of actually eating, not just drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a neat trick to use a lot of ice with the with like non-fat Greek yogurt and protein powder. You can make like an ice cream. Oh, you eat it with a spoon. It's great. You got to use the right portion of ice versus protein powder and yogurt, though. But no, those are all excellent ways to indulge differently, if you will. So, anybody else have anything else on that note before I go to the next one? No? All right, cool. So, next one. What do we have here? So, plan to cut loose. What I mean by that is, set yourself up for success. During the day on Friday and or Saturday, stick to your usual regimen and routine of what you do, right? But come dinner time, anything goes. You do you. Just don't overdo it and eat like an asshole. That's also plan something. So has anybody done that where they took the first part of the day or the first 3 quarters of the day, routine as usual, and then kind of like on this picture here, Friday night, then you put something else on it?
It's happened to me a couple of times. It's happened to me. What I learned is structure is key. Like I do meal planning, so I don't fall into that so much. And right now, I got into this, like I just came across this video. I just stumbled upon it, and it was a guy talking about the carnivore diet and fasting during the mornings. With it being so low carb, I'm very careful. So I do take a carb intake if I am working out, which is, and I know that's like, okay, then it's not the carnivore diet, but the carb intake is complex carbs that I do take in. It's GM1 Sport, which is Bare Nutrition. It's made for specifically so you can burn it off during an exercise, mainly like hybrid athlete stuff. So I use that during that, and I burn it off. So it is still kind of carnivore because I don't have that in my system by the end of the day.
Right. By the time the workout's done, it's in and out.
It's gone. It's gone.
Neat little tool.
Yeah. They have a lot of good products on there. I won't get into too much of that because if you want to check them out, it's Bare Nutrition. They're pretty known right now, but it's all clean nutrition, and that's pretty much what I use. So I'll use that throughout most of the day if I am fasting. So it helps me with curbing the appetite. So I don't make those, to get back to the point, so I don't make the mistake of, so to say, binge eating at the end of the night on a weekend, because weekends, they're tricky. They sneak up on you, and usually it'll be some of the, hey, let's go out to eat. or your family will be like, hey, let's go to our favorite restaurant, and all they have is like tons of pasta, you know? So it's a tricky thing to go out to eat. So I do cook often, more like probably 6 days a week I cook, probably like 2 times a day.
Yeah, I cook a lot too. I tend to.
Yeah.
And to your point, as far as that's one of the next ones. Let me skip over this one real quick. So drink a protein shake before eating out. You know, this is a great strategy for those who are worried about overindulging or going overboard when they do eat out. You know, you have that whole, I don't know if anybody here knows that when you do eat, it takes 15 minutes for the mind and body to respond to satiety, that you're satisfied. So there really is a 10 to 15 minute window that if you stop eating, wait that time, you may end up okay. You're not hungry anymore. That's how you end up overeating, is you just keep on going. The hunger signal doesn't turn on soon enough. So then all of a sudden you stop eating. When you start to feel full, you're overboard already. Just like if you're thirsty, right? You're already dehydrated. You shouldn't be thirsty. You don't want to overeat. So if you drink a protein shake before you go out to eat, obviously by the time you get to the restaurant, sit down, you know, there's going to be 15 minutes that have gone by. And you're less likely to overeat or overindulge in your meal. And that works out very well. Even if you're going to go to a cookout or something like that, whatever, it works with anything. If you want to trick yourself into not eating a lot, a couple scoops of protein, down the hatch, and then just be out. See what happens. Very powerful.
It's funny because it's funny you say that, because it's so true. I never thought of it like that as a plan, but it's like just part of my normal routine when I go to visit a relative in Peabody, Mass. So when I go to visit them, I always bring that with me. I never thought of it like, well, that's the reason why I bring it, because I don't want to eat what she has there. She's like a snack queen. So I kind of avoid that by having the protein, you know, avoid eating all that stuff. So I do have that with me when I go over there. So it's funny you say that, because it's so true.
Yeah, no, protein powder, it's a great tool. It's a tool of convenience is really what it is. And it helps somebody get enough protein in without having so many damn solid meals a day.
Yeah.
Yes, you know? With all those calories you're making me eat right now. Yeah.
Although you needed it, and we'll talk about that in your video that we are coming up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I'm gonna try that. I'm going out with some girlfriends for like a girls' mom's night out tomorrow for dinner. But I'm gonna try that drink a protein shake on the way to the restaurant trick. But awesome. I already looked at the menu, and I'm planning to get the salmon anyway, so it's fine.
Oh, good. Hey, then you won't be tempted for dessert or anything else.
Oh,
You'll be too full.
I can't physically eat that much anyway, because you know my gastric bypass and everything. So I never get. If I wanted to have dessert, I would just have to have dessert and then not eat a meal.
No, but let me know what happens with that. Let me know your experience. Awesome.
It's funny you said that, because I consider a protein shake dessert. And I know it's a meal, but it oddly, because what I like to do, I like to throw in a little bit of heavy cream, and it kind of makes it like an ice cream for me. Sure. Because it thickens it up, and it's literally like drinking a vanilla shake.
Yeah. Hey, you know, you're using whey protein, correct?
Yes.
So it's dairy based anyway. You're just adding whey protein. Of course, they filter a lot of the milk solids out, and you're just adding it back in.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Just a hint, though. Awesome. I don't go crazy. Sure. Just a hint. And I do make my protein shakes with water versus milk.
Right.
So I make it with water. Once in a while, I'll use like an almond milk, but I like it with water. A lot of people make jokes about like. It's funny. I seen a meme the other day, like having your protein with milk versus water, and then it showed I forget the name of the actor, but it showed him all healthy, and then it showed him all like sick looking when he had it with water. I was like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? I love it with water. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's refreshing.
I make mine with cold brew. Like I just put 8 ounces of like cold brew bottled coffee and then just dump it in because I personally am not a huge fan of protein powder, but I do like the one that Jason turned me on to. So I just 8 ounces of cold brew, dump in my protein powder, shake it up, throw in some ice, and off I go.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. So I did that. Actually, I did that this morning. I had an early meeting. I didn't want to eat anything anyway. I had protein powder and coffee. So
that's the best.
Who else here does that?
I do. I
do it as well?
always have it either with a shot of espresso or because I have 2 protein shakes a day. I have one to start off the day, and then I have one immediately after my workout. So the one that I have in the morning, I have with the coffee. And the one after my workout is usually just something like I'll create. Like I'll throw a little pumpkin spice in there. I don't know if you guys seen that. I add pumpkin spice, and it changes it up. Or I'll add like cinnamon in it in a vanilla protein shake and with the whey. And it just changes it up. I like changing things up. I don't like to stay having the same thing all the time because then I'll get sick of it.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I've seen the tops of your stuff. Bam! I see little cinnamon and stuff on the top of your smoothies. What were you going to say, Ellen?
I have the protein with my coffee every morning as well with iced coffee. And I put cinnamon in mine too. Makes it a little desserty. Good way to start the day.
Right, with a protein with a kick. All right, so the other thing is don't bring home leftovers. How many people go out to eat and then they don't, they're trying to watch the quantity of what they're eating, but yet you bring home the takeovers, then you eat it again. Does anybody do that?
Then I throw it out 3 days later because I don't know why I bring it home. I know I'm not going to eat it again. It just sits in the fridge. It just happened to me last week. I had friends visiting from out of town, and we went to lunch, and I got like a chicken wrap. I ate half of it, and her mom's like, "Oh, bring the other half home." I'm not going to eat it. She's like, "Oh, bring it home. You'll eat it." No, I just threw it away the other day. I'm like, no.
Same.
Yeah, why eat if it's
just like there? You don't want to waste it when you're there. You don't want to just throw it away, but then you end up throwing it away a few days later anyway.
I meal prep it.
Rich doesn't take any no waste, right? You take it and then you distribute it into the next week's meal prep.
I meal prep it.
You just fit it in.
It all.
That's great. Hey, I've done that before, man. I'm like running low on some stuff in the refrigerator on Monday because crazy weekend. I'm like, damn. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take some of this from what I had, whatever, and I just put it together.
Yeah.
Where I need my carbs or protein.
We usually get me and my wife usually get like pretty healthy foods. Like we'll get like the what do you call that? The Chipotle salads with like the meat.
The bowls with just the meat and the rice and the veggies.
The bowls with no rice.
Okay.
And I also wanted to say, you put me on to jasmine rice. I found a good jasmine rice, lower carbs, and it was like awesome. So nice. You put me on to that. Thank you for that, by the way. But yeah,
no problem.
So I left over from Chipotle. I'll cook something up and combine that with the leftover Chipotle and make like 2-3 meals, depending on how much I have left, of course.
See, the Thai food, man, same thing. Veggies and protein.
I gotta try that.
Yeah, it's really good. Really, it's pretty clean. Find yourself a nice Thai. Because Chinese food is a lot dirtier. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of heavy sauces and whatnot.
I can't have Chinese food. It's an addicting thing for me. When I was way over 300 pounds, that's what I ate every day. You know what I mean? Now
it's a trigger
I'm down
for you.
128 pounds. So
Woo.
I can't touch Chinese food at all. At all. Like that is like the one thing I can't eat that I know if I have a couple bites, it's over.
Rich is kryptonite.
So I don't. Say again?
Rich is kryptonite.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's my kryptonite. You know what I mean? If somebody hated me, they'll show up to my door and be like, "Hey, how you doing? I brought you some Chinese food."
Oh no. That's funny. All right, so don't bring any leftovers home from that meal. Let's see, what do we have next? I'm losing my spot here. Let's see, did I do that one yet? Yes, I did. Okay, here's another one. Work out before you indulge. So an example would be to set the tone for the weekend. Get your workout in on whatever day you're going to eat. That way, your body will be primed to use up most of the calories that are extra that you take in versus having a non-workout day and going ahead and eat that stuff. So work out before you indulge. Does anybody do that sort of planning at all? Like, hey, you know, I'm probably going to eat out tonight, so let me get my workout in. Anybody think that way?
Well, Jason, you gave me a lot of shit when I told you about how I used to work out, you know, a couple of years ago. So no, we don't work out all that much anymore.
Yeah, this girl is a beast, man. Doing doubles and whatnot, crazy. Oh,
I won't tell you how many calories I was eating back then. Well, you know, but
I'll keep it under wraps. But you could just imagine, yeah.
Or how little calories I was eating and how much I was working out.
Actually,
I've seen you work out, Leanne. We go to the same gym, so.
Right. But before I started at the gym, like I worked out like 3 hours a day, like between 2 workouts and like a 5-mile walk. And yeah, it was not super sustainable 7 days a week at what I was consuming for calories at that time.
Well, you can glove up anytime and I will glove up with you, my dear.
Tuesday, 5:15 a.m., baby.
No. Anytime after that. Nope.
Rich will be up a little bit far north, though.
Yeah, I'm doing doubles right now. Twice a week.
You guys beat me, man.
My Saturday sessions are anywhere between 3 to 6 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you training for something?
You train for the zombie apocalypse. Rich is training for the zombie apocalypse.
The end of the world. You see those pictures, my Facebook page? I'm running through the woods. Oh yeah. I'm ready.
What are you training for?
A couple events. I've been doing the trail running events in Lynn Woods in Lynn, Mass. And also I'm doing a Spartan trifecta.
Nice. Awesome.
So the Spartan, just for those who don't know, Spartan trifecta is stadium, which is going to be done at Fenway Park. Sorry about my park. It's thick. I know my Boston accent's so thick. But Fenway Park, and there's a 10K with, I believe it's 25 obstacles in Bear, Massachusetts. And then I got one in Vermont, which is the Spartan Beast. And that's probably the harder one, which is like, my goal is to get it done within like 8 hours. So that's the toughest one. But the trail running events here in Massachusetts, in Lynn, Massachusetts, at Lynn Woods, off the Linfield Street exit, is they have 3.5-mile runs, they have 8-mile runs, and they have 12-mile runs. And they're all about, say, 50 to 80 people doing each of those events.
Wow. It's a lot of people in the woods.
Yeah.
I did the Spartan race at Fenway. I did a Spartan race at Fenway like 2 years ago, and just climbing up the stairs to the top of Fenway, I was like, I'm done. I hadn't even started yet. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. That was my race.
Yeah, I was there.
No,
I
finished it.
actually referee there as well sometimes. Yeah, so I love it there. I'm actually going to be reffing this year as well, and I'll also be doing the event as well.
I did Stairs for Troops 2 years in a row over at
yes,
Yes, we did. And
Nice.
Leanne did too.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
We did. It's on October this year. There's already a date.
Oh, nice. Fun time. I'll be there.
Me too.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I have the number one way to avoid, your nutrition and fitness going to shit over the weekends. But do you guys have any other suggestions, strategies, or solutions, or even a problem that you might have
for the weekend? Maybe do some live coaching here. Keep me on my toes.
I don't know. I would say for me that the weekend is it makes for many challenges. You know, even after doing all that other stuff you talked about, I think the weekend's so unpredictable. I mean, I don't know how many people have children and how old their children are, but when your children have something every single day on the weekend at 2-3 hours apart from one another, and then you have your own stuff, things become very, very hectic. Sometimes it's just trying to be, for me anyways, it's trying to be smarter than anything else and selective in what I decide to eat at that point anyways, you know what I mean? Because we can get them, you know, most likely anything that, you know, McDonald's, whatever you want to call it, but I'm not eating that. So, you know, again, just try to be very selective on when I know that, or when I don't know that I'm going somewhere out in East Bum and I got to stay there for 4 hours. So yeah, I would say that the weekend for me has been since starting has been somewhat of a whirlwind. But I think the more that I do what I do and the way that I do it, it just becomes more of a habit, and the weekends become a little bit more routine than they normally would.
So would you say, Keon, that when you struggle with the weekend, what happens is you slowly try to bring different or slowly make improvements and make them stick over time. And eventually, like you said, you're forming a better routine with some structure on your weekend versus the way it was.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Like when I started this, I was just like anybody else. I don't want to weigh my food out. I was like, no, here we go again. But again, you know, I just said, hey, I'm just gonna do what I got to do, and I got through it. And now I do it, and it's almost conscious that I do it. Like it's not even thought about. I'm just doing it because I've done it so much already. So yeah, I mean, again, as that grows and as my affinity to get better every day grows, then the weekends will come. They'll be easy. You know what I mean? At some point, I don't ever have 2 of the same weekends. Like there's no exact weekends. Like, oh, I did this. I did it last weekend and the weekend before. No, because everything is always different. Always. So, but as I grow with those changes, as I grow with things becoming different, and I become better at what I'm doing, then I think it all kind of, you know, everybody finds what works for them.
This will all come together for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had some shit weekends, but again, some ones I didn't even know I was going to be where I was going to be and what I was going to be doing. It just kind of happened, type shit. You know what I mean? So.
Yep.
But.
And the best thing for it is what? Plan, right?
You can definitely try.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, it may work, but you got to know how to transform. You know,
it's a transition.
You got to move with you know what's happening at the time and figure it out. Because sometimes you're not going to have a lot of options. So
that's right. And as you build skills, you can overcome that.
You're right, absolutely. So you're like, oh, this is the first time I did it. All right. So the whole time now you're thinking about how you can prepare for that moment if it happens again.
Kind of like my fail in the mini challenge. Yeah, I gotta get better next time. I'm just saying.
But yeah, no, definitely. Like I've grown every weekend. I've gotten better than what I did the last weekend prior. So, and
that's what it's all about. Anything in life, really. Just keep moving the needle forward, and eventually you're there. Doesn't have to be cold turkey.
So a weekend tip. I know that worked for me for a little while when I was being super duper strict couple of years ago was I would, if I knew I was leaving for the day, I would pack. I have a little like lunch cooler, and I'd pack my cooler with things that you can eat cold. So have the cooler all packed up for the day. And I had a rule back then that if it wasn't in the cooler, I wasn't allowed to eat it. So I would pack like, if it was like hard boiled eggs or like a sandwich or a wrap, or even like sometimes like something, vegetables and meat that tastes fine cold, and just throw some ice packs in it. And I would just have that bag, and it would be filled with to the brim with things for the day. And now, I mean, nowadays I'm like, oh, I definitely don't eat enough on the weekends. And I definitely do like to go out for a cocktail on Saturday nights. So, I mean, I did that. I still did that way back when I was being super duper strict, but I'm not working out 3 or 4 hours a day, 7 days a week right now. So
thank God, right?
I love it, man. I love it.
Awesome. Anybody else have anything to share as far as strategies on the weekend, or if anybody has any other problems that they need worked out?
My problem is the weekend is that it's not structured like the week for work. So I could go, for example, on a Saturday, wake up and go to the gym, come home, shower, change. Then I'm heading out to go food shopping, and then I'm doing errands. By the time I get home, I haven't eaten anything. And then I'll be like, well, it's almost dinner time. And so there are days even during the week, like I'm lucky if I'm hitting 1,000 calories. I'm just not like that hungry. And then I'm like, oh, well, like, okay, the gym, I come home, oh, it's almost lunchtime, so we're not going to eat, and I'll eat lunch. You know what I mean? So during the weekend, it's hard because I'm always running around and I never know what I'm doing. So half the time, I usually get one meal in. So
pack a cooler, Ellen. Pack a cooler.
Or, that was a great segue. Does anybody have any other?
You can pack it for me, Leanne.
Okay,
I'll come over. I'll eat it if you pack it for me.
I'll come over and pack it for you.
Because I meal prep, so I'm done. Like, yeah.
So see, I don't meal prep. That's one thing I never got into, and now that I work from home, I just like cook my lunch every day. I don't like to eat the same thing. Like people that are like, oh, I made myself chicken and broccoli for the next 7 days, and I'm like, nah, bro. Today I might have chicken. Tomorrow I'm gonna have salmon. Then I might have shrimp. Then I'm gonna have leftover steak. Nope. I need a variety of life around here.
You got that flexibility too.
Yeah. Fortunately, I do have the flexibility that I can cook all of my meals because I'm home all day.
Jason, can you just provide us with someone to cook for us, and then I'll eat pretty good.
They have those services,
Like,
you can still. I mean, I use both those ways actually. So like in breakfast and lunch, I'm pretty simple. It's pretty close to the same thing all the time. But once dinner comes, now now you can just cook it up, do what you want, figure something else out, get something different. But I'd say for my first two meals, I'm like the same stuff because I'm just like, I don't care.
What about sharing recipes, Jason? What about having all of us like share recipes?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll go one further actually, and I wasn't going to say anything yet, but hey, we're all on, right? So one of the things that I'm going to do is Zoom cooking classes with people. And also for the promos or for the marketing for that, there'll be different shows. I'll be cooking with Tiana Celestia, our registered dietitian group expert. She's up in Marblehead. I'm going to head over to her kitchen and do something up with her and a few other people. But yeah, and of course there'll be recipes shared in that. Also a bunch of shorts that will go along with my macros plus recipes that you guys can copy from the app and whatnot. So that's coming up here. I just got to finalize a few things that I'm working on this next month, but it's coming. It'll come slowly and then it will be like mainstream, the main thing. But yeah, cooking classes. A lot of people have issues with cooking skills when they start to try to eat healthy and cook more from home, especially making stuff taste good. Never mind the variety, just the basics. So that's coming. But yeah, recipes. I mean, you guys can freely. Anytime I see anybody post a recipe on the group, I'll go ahead and tag it and put it under recipes that way, or shared recipes or something. And then that way you could just at the top of the group, whenever you're looking for recipes, you can just click on shared recipes and they'll all pop up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you guys post recipes, I'll go ahead and I'll categorize it as they come in. Awesome. So as far as the weekend's concerned, right? And the number one way to avoid your nutrition and fitness going to shit is, can anybody guess? I'll take a guess first.
Plan ahead.
Don't go out for cocktails. No.
That was this one. And by the way, the whole cocktail thing, that's good. That'll be on a different that's a different event show. We'll talk about
Have
that
someone plan your cooler for you.
All right. Well, I was thinking more along.
Should I start a business for that, Ellen?
There's a need.
Meal prepping.
Absolutely, that's a possibility. You might
Meal
be
prepping your
onto
cooler
something.
for you on the weekends.
That's a problem, and then you have the solution. Handle that.
And I'll give you private lessons with your gloves. How's that?
Huh. Yeah, Joe, you don't ever want to be partners with Ellen, like boxing. Good God.
I've heard. So.
It is a compliment. No, it is a compliment.
Sounds like she's a bully. I'm
She
just
could kick
saying.
him out. She's a black belt.
She's been hitting those gloves for a long time, hitting those pads. So the number one way to avoid your nutrition and fitness going to shit on the weekends is treat the weekdays and weekends the same. Stick to your usual sleep routine or schedule if you can even, and eat like it's a weekday. Now, I know Keon's like, yeah, okay, buddy, try with these kids and this isn't going to help for all, but it is the number one way to avoid that happening to you is to just treat the weekend like a weekday.
No, absolutely, 100%. It's just very, that's a very difficult challenge.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, but the closer you can get it to that, the better off you will be. And hey, that's what people work towards. So, and it takes practice and time. You got to do the reps.
That's it.
Keon, I feel you. My oldest turns 21 tomorrow, so
You'll be going out for cocktails. No.
Sure will be. Somebody's gonna be going out for cocktails.
Drink your protein shake before you drink your cocktail.
Not tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night.
You're on a liquid diet tomorrow.
Oh no.
Actually,
honestly, the protein shakes, I pretty much live off of them. Like my first and second meals of the day are basically just protein shakes with added carbs and fats in there, and that's it. Because it's not that I don't know how to cook. I'm just freaking lazy. I'm so lazy. If I can just blend it up and drink it, absolutely all day.
Leanne will pack your cooler for you. It's all good.
Coolers for everyone.
All smooth.
Oh no.
Hey, you know what? It did work. Just saying.
Hey, I do it.
Sometimes I still do, but usually I don't leave on the weekends. I'm lazy during the day. That's my time to sleep in. So I have breakfast and lunch, usually breakfast, lunch, protein shake at home. So I don't usually need to pack a cooler because if I'm going to a friend's house, the friend that I would normally hang out with has 2 little kids now. So I just end up cooking their dinner. So we'll have vegetables and try to get the kids to try new things. So it's not terrible, but I used to go out a lot more than I do now. So I'm just all right, this is what we got. It's coming with me and easy peasy. But
yeah,
that's
on my
awesome
on my long gym sessions, I pack a cooler because I'm going to be there for a long time. So I need some drinks. You know what I mean? I don't want to drink that tap water too much. But
you should probably pack a sleeping bag too for a nap in between.
Like you used to do, Leanne?
I bring a comforter.
I never worked out for 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
I'd do a morning session and then get my 5-mile walk in and then go back for an evening session. It wasn't
well, keep in mind that's once a week that I do that. It's not an everyday thing. You know
Okay,
what I
well,
mean?
I was doing it 7 days a week.
Yeah, I do it. I've done it 7 days a week, but not to that extent. It'd be like a 2-hour session most of the week, and then one big session. But now I'm down to 5 days a week because I'm nearing my goal, my weight loss goal. So now I can take it a little bit easier on myself and do some recovery. You mentioned that before, Jay, that recovery is very important, and I take that seriously now when I didn't before. And you were one of the people that put that in my head, by the way.
Awesome. Yeah, you got to put back in what you take out, man. Like
Yeah.
your bank account, same thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I wanted to mention with the cooler thing, because I go to the gym with the cooler, I noticed a couple guys started showing up with coolers now.
You're setting trends, Rich. Nice.
You know, it matches my watch cover and my sneakers. My cooler.
This guy's like, these guys are like, this guy knows what he's doing. Hold on a second. That's great. Oh, man. All right, so that kind of, let me do the recap really quick. So how to win on the weekend, the recap, plan ahead, look for other ways to indulge, plan to cut loose every now and again. You know, don't bring home leftovers, drink a protein shake before eating or drinking out, I guess you could say, work out before you indulge, and the best is treat the weekdays and weekends the same. That's the #1 way to avoid your nutrition and fitness turning into shit over the weekends.
There we go. So I hope that you got something out of that. There was a lot of good nuggets in there. So yeah, you can have fun and still stay on track on the weekend. Just don't let the weekend wreck your progress. Remember, consistency beats chaos. Now get out there and win the weekend. Until next time, keep it simple, keep it moving, and above all else, keep it real, especially when it comes to your fitness. That wraps up today's fitness success segment. Next Monday is week 3. So we'll be discussing Pillar 3, physical activity, tips to stay active and energized no matter your fitness level. Want to join the conversation as a guest or have your questions featured on the next episode? Just drop in the comments below. Yes, even if you're watching the replay, let us know and we'll make it happen. All right, moving on. Let's move on to the final segment for today. The final segment for today is the Real Estate Roundup. The Real Estate Roundup segment keeps you updated on the latest in the real estate world. Whether you're interested in residential or commercial, this segment's got you covered. I'll invite guest experts on to share insights and discuss the subjects that you want to hear about. If you didn't already know, I'm with J. Nuss Realty Group. J. Nuss Realty Group, we are a commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm out of Braintree, Massachusetts, servicing all of Eastern Massachusetts. We specialize in commercial real estate transactions, including sales and leases. And we also consult on a variety of commercial real estate related matters, including, but not limited to, nonprofits, religious and otherwise, potentially environmentally compromised property, and transit-oriented development. Other services include commercial lease audits, and if you or anyone you know owns a commercial property and wants to know its worth on the current market, we can do a commercial broker opinion of value for you. If you or someone you know is in need of a commercial real estate professional, please contact us directly or comment under this video and we will follow up with you. Residential agents out there, have you ever tried to navigate a commercial lease transaction and were confused by it or got stuck? Did I mention we also work with residential real estate brokers? So if you're a residential agent or broker out there in need of commercial expertise, please don't hesitate to contact us for assistance. What real estate topics spark your curiosity the most? Residential, commercial, or something entirely different? I'd really appreciate it if you'd share your thoughts in the comments. And if you're watching on the replay, your input is just as valuable. Your feedback will guide me in creating future content. Moving on. Keeping it moving, as I like to say. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Keeping It Real. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Every week, we'll dive into important topics that will help you grow with a mix of fun and practical advice, from nutrition habits to real estate, public speaking skills to networking strategies. This show is designed to inspire you to keep it real and, of course, and keep it fun. Today in the Core 4 of Networking segment, I shared with you a video of the in-person presentation that I did last Tuesday on the Core 4 of Networking. Then, in the public speaking segment of the show, From Stagefright to Spotlight, I had my fellow Toastmaster, Sean DaSilva, explain what a Toastmasters evaluation is, and then he evaluated the presentation that I gave last Tuesday. And I also shared how you can visit my next virtual Toastmaster meeting. In the fitness success segment, we covered struggles and problems that have people screwing up most of their progress made during the week. And we also discussed solutions and strategies to win on the weekend as it relates to consistency in your nutrition and fitness. Then lastly, in the real estate roundup segment, I told you about the services of my commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm, J&S Realty Group, and how we love working with residential agents. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a comment about what you enjoyed. If you didn't, please let me know about that too. All feedback is welcome. If you arrived after we started or missed any details, don't worry. You can always check out the replay. Before we end today's show, I have one last thing to share. Every show will end on a high note with a funny meme or short, hilarious video to keep you smiling. Please stand by for this week's funny moment. You guys know about the 3-second rule, right? Well, check this out.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Here we go. 1, no way. 2, oh shit. Yo, 3,
Oh my God! What is this rule, bro? Why do we do this? We look like idiots.
Hey man, enjoy that fucking movie. Yeah, I'm on your toothbrush and shit.
All right, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me today. I can't wait to see you for more Keeping It Real. Be sure to leave your comments, share your thoughts, and don't hesitate to get involved. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and keep it real. See you next week on Monday, May 19th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you later.
I know everybody a go like. I know everybody a go like. Success don't come over